Hey everyone, so in this video we're going to be doing the Global Dokkan EX Top 10 LRs in the game. This will also be the penultimate video to the coming soon Best Teams Dokkan Battle Global Dokkan Campaign 2025 finale, which will mark the end of my Dokkan exclusive YouTube experience, which of course is going to be bittersweet. So with that, let's go ahead and dive right in. And of course it makes a lot of sense for me to make this video so that you can see the value in terms of what I put in for these top 10 LRs, which is basically the best units in the game, and then how I then incorporate this into best teams. I am going to quickly talk about this really quickly because I do look at units a lot differently probably than a lot of people do in terms of tier lists. I look at not only of course the passive skills and the special skills, but I think leader skills is very important. And then of course categories, special super attacks, links, and overall stats, but also look at the game not only in the in-game version of things, right? So in-game you do have, particularly new events that come out that you're like, okay, this is the hardest portion of the game. Do we have units that could complete that? But I also look at the mid-game as well, because 90% of the rest of the game, you also need certain teams to run for that as well. And then also starting the game out. If you're brand new to the game, how would these particular units or even teams work out if you were to start the game brand new? So I have to take a look at this overall aspect, not just the end game. So again, that's maybe a little bit in terms of difference of viewpoints in valuing these units here. So again, everything's subjective, nothing's wrong or right, but this is how I'm going to explain to you how I go ahead and rank these units here. So now let's dive into the top 10 EX Global Dokkan campaign here. And just quickly to mention Endgame, right? We have these three different Endgame battles that have particularly different ways of playing the game, right? Festival of Battles is a very long Endgame version of what's happening right now in Dokkan. The special battle, it's that combination between defense and some dodging abilities there. You have certain events that are more difficult than others, so you kind of have a little bit more overall there. And then the new blue zone with the Gohan here is just incredibly difficult because they hit so hard. You kind of need dodging units to get through like the first couple rounds while you kind of build up. So it's just very interesting how they're designing these three parts of the end game. But again, we're not only just looking at this is a list for everything, not just these three events here, right? So anyway, let's dive into the top 10, starting with the number 10 spot, which I had difficulty in figuring out where I should start here because we have three units vying for this number 10 spot here, right? We have LR34, which has been a staple in the top 10, and he is a very good utility unit. He's more of a support unit than anything else. He does have that dodging ability, and then of course his transformation into Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Very strong overall unit. He is a 220% leader in Giant Ape power, but he's definitely more of a utility unit than anything else. He needs other units to make him shine, and he can still be a pretty decent leader as well. Whereas now you have LRGG, so LRGG getting his EZA definitely propped them up a lot more. However, he is still a unit that is kind of locked into the number 1 spot, right? So slot 1 is a slot that we have a lot of units that can operate in that position, but he is that special unit that can, on his 18 key super attack, buff the entire team, which is brand new. It's a brand new mechanic, and he also has an incredible leader skill, albeit only at 200%. And then finally, the best yellow coin LR in the game in LRTN also has a 200% leader skill, but also has tremendous ability defensively and offensively as well. So again, all three of these I think have a say or a spot in the top 10. I just had to say, okay, based on my opinion, where should one rank above the other? I ended up saying, okay, the 10th spot's going to go to LRGG. So again, I think a lot of people might have LR34 as the number 10 spot or even higher. But for me, I think I have LRGG in that spot here because of his versatility and being in that slot 1. Sometimes players don't have a slot 1 unit, and he is a staple in that spot, and then also making other units better every time he super attacks. Definitely a unit that's more designed for festival battles than anything else. He does not operate as well as on special battle or the blue zone, comparable to some other units on there. But again, overall wise, I think he deserves that top 10 spot here. So coming in number 10 is going to be LRGG, knocking LR34 out of the top 10 for the first time. But, he might be falling back in the future there. But very, very close, right? Very, very close between the two. So moving on to the number 8 and 9 spot would be the other EZAs, the 7-year anniversary Dokkan Festival exclusives. Remember, LRGG is also a Dokkan Festival exclusive LR as well. So you have the 8th, 9th, and 10th spot, all Dokkan Festival exclusive EZA units making their return into the best units in the game. And we definitely know that the LR Super Saiyan 4s are better because of its leader skill in Fused Fighters versus Power Beyond Super Saiyan, which is still a very, very strong leader skill. But they're both at 200%, and both of them operate very, very similar to each other. But again, albeit I think Super Saiyan 4 does have an edge over the gods there. But again, very similar, and that's the reason why they're always kind of grouped together. So the 8 and 9 spot and the 10 spot, all Dokkan Festival exclusive EZAs there. So then let's go ahead and move on to 6 and 7, which is another grouped type of units here, and that's going to be the 10-year anniversary Vegito and Gogeta. Now we all know the issues with Vegeta and Gogeta, the AGL 10-year anniversary unit on there. Yes, prior to his transformation, he is not as ideal, but he does have one of the best, if not the best, leader skill in the game. Having a Pure Saiyan's leader skill has always been one of the top leaders in the game, and then adding Fused Fighters to it, man, that 250 and 220% leader skill that both of these have is tremendous. Now the Vegito's team's a little bit weaker because it doesn't provide the 7-year anniversary EZA's 250, 220%, only at 1 run 70. So it's a worse leader, but the unit of itself is a little bit better, actually probably a lot better in terms of starting out the game and surviving in some of these more difficult end game pieces on here. So I think both of them, with their tremendous leader skill, you definitely want to start the game with these types of units, especially having Pure Saiyan's leader and Fused Fighters as well. So coming in at 6 and 7, I think they're a good spot there, which is surprising to me because they're the 10-year anniversary units, and generally 10-year anniversary stays a lot higher in the top 10 for a lot longer time. But man, the Global Dokkan celebration kind of threw that out of the water there, and now the top 5, of course, is going to be the Global Anniversary Celebration units is coming in the top 5. So where do we put them? Well, that's going to be the question here. So coming in the 4 and 5 spot, I feel like I'm just grouping these together, but are the Extreme Class units. You have Omega Shenron and you have a Rose. So Omega Shenron is just a beast of a unit. It got better and better and better. It was kind of a slow burn in terms of his value, but as his team, his own unique team, got better. He is a Dokkan Festival exclusive, LR. He has a lot of advantages. He supports. He can deal quite a bit of damage, but he synergizes tremendously with that Extreme Class team that he can build. And I think that's the reason why he's going to supersede the rest of the other units here. Even though he's an Extreme Class unit, and generally you want to start the game with the Extreme Class unit, he is one of definitely the exceptions on there. Speaking of exceptions and starting the game out, man, Rose and his free-to-play team, with all the free-to-play type advantage Roses, you can start the game and just beat pretty much a majority of it with his own team, with his team right there. Starting from scratch, you start with just him alone, and then or just bring a friend and just bring all free-to-play units. You're going to be absolutely fine and just complete a majority of the game that way. And then his own team in of itself, when you build it out, is a tremendously strong team. Super Bosses was definitely one of the weakest categories, but has definitely boosted up because of Rose himself. His boost to anybody that's named Goku Black is an absolute beast of a support there. And that puts him in the number 4 spot. He not only can lead a team, he's also great in other teams as well. Because speaking of that, let's talk about 1, 2, and 3, which makes a lot of sense. It's the super class units for the Global Dokkan Celebration, and that is going to be Gohan, Gogeta, and then the number 1 is going to be the Blues. So I've had the Blues in the number 1 spot since kind of the beginning. I know some people had Gogeta on there. I think just overall his dodge and tanking mechanic in of itself, his weaknesses are not that much. And yeah, it's a strong unit, and his team is definitely one of the tops that are up there. Now, in terms of Gogeta getting a lot of slack, just like how Vegeta and AGL 10-year anniversary Gogeta got a lot of slack, not being very good at special battle. Gogeta not being super dominant in the blue zone doesn't mean that he's dropping down to number 4, number 5, or anything of that nature. He's still solidified in a number 2 spot here, right? So GT Heroes is still a strong category, again, albeit not having a lot of flexibility, but we'll see how that plays out in the top 10 teams. And then I have Gohan here in the number 3 spot. You can probably easily switch this around and move Gohan and the Boo Boys down to the number 5 spot. Like currently right now, due to its team, right? Its team is not. It's like Omega. It hasn't been fully built out yet. But I still think that this is probably the right spot for them versus moving them over here. So I think this is going to be my final ranking here. Again, I do want to give shout outs to LR34 and Yellow Coin LRTN. Definitely deserving in the top 10 spot. I just had to make a decision. So I'm just going to be more preferable to LRGG. And I think right now the 3 superclass units in terms of the Boo Boys and Gohan, Gogeta and the Blue Boys, those are the top tier currently right now. But man, it's good to see 2 extreme class units in the top 5. I do want to just throw out something really quickly here. Is what was last year looking like? So I did this little screenshot here of last year's tier list. As you can see, the 10-year anniversary, or sorry, the 9-year anniversary units in Broly and Beast Gohan, right? Oh, actually, no, Gogeta. Where's Gogeta at? Okay, so anyway, Beast Gohan. Yeah, even the Carnival unit, Carnival Gogeta, didn't make it on this list here. Why did I have Cell Max in the number 8 spot? So I think this was when Cell Max was just super dominant at the time. But you can see here, like, Beast Gohan was solidified in the number 1 spot for a very, very long time. But you can see in the 2025, where the 10-year anniversary, it lost a lot of its kind of value, going to moving out of the top 10 spot here. But if they do provide some longer content versus the Festival Battles, I think they'll be able to move up back to the top 5 if they're going to end up actually doing something of that nature. So we'll see what happens here. And of course, MUI Goku and Evolution Vegeta, hung out in the top 10 for a long time. I can also see LR Super Saiyan 4s and the gods, sticking around there for a while as well. And yeah, so that's kind of an interesting comparison in terms of what's happening now versus what was happening then. And again, it's up to you if you guys want to switch, the boys, the Boo Boys down to number 5 spots or keep them in number 3. I think this will be my final rankings here. Let me know in the comment section below if you like, dislike, disagree. Again, constructive criticism is fine. But with that, again, penultimate version, and stay tuned for best teams coming soon. So with that, we'll catch you in the next video. Later.